Dune Part 2. I love this movie. I've seen it twice now, and I could confidently say that I think I prefer it more than the first one. Now, I am one of the people who did love the first movie. I'm not one of the people who thought it was too slow, thought it was a snooze fest. I really liked the first one. I remember seeing it the second time and thinking this is a 10 out of 10 movie. So with hearing all the hype of the second movie, I was hyped. I was so hyped, and I always have doubts no matter what. Even though I trust the director, I trust Denis, I still was cautiously optimistic. But man, this movie, it met the hype, and it's a cinematic masterpiece. And I feel like that term gets thrown around quite a bit. And I've heard people say that this movie is pure cinema. And I agree. And what is cinema? Well, I think, to me, and I think most people would agree with me, that cinema is what makes the art form unique, which is visual storytelling coming together with sound. So dialogue, writing, all that is essential to a movie. It's crucial to it, but I don't think that's what makes it a movie. Writing has been around for thousands of years. Poems, stories, whatever. And photography came around later, much later, very recent. And moving pictures coming together with sound, that is what makes cinema. Visual storytelling and sound and music, to me. But I think most film fans would agree with me. And yeah, just the way Denis just uses visual storytelling, Hans Zimmer's music, Greg Fraser's cinematography, so good, so hype, so immersive. And the last hour 45, I guess don't want to get into spoilers, but there is a specific point where Paul Atreides takes a specific turn. He comes to a new mindset and a new belief, I guess you could say, and he just has more resolve in what he's gonna do, and he's full-blown leader, full-blown man. And the way the last hour carries out, the battles, all that, oh, man, it's crazy. It's crazy how good this movie was, how hype it was, how I'm someone who's a fan of superhero films and Star Wars films, and it's just so refreshing, and it just feels so good to see something not Marvel and be on the same level of like a film like Endgame, for example. And Avatar did that a little bit. Avatar Way with Water, and I love that movie too. But Dune Part 2 does take everything on a whole other level. Something I'm noticing that a lot of people, a lot of fans of this movie, a lot of casual fans of this movie. I'm not a book reader. I read books, but I have not read Dune, and I don't think I have any interest in reading Dune. I don't read too much sci-fi or fantasy, but I have been getting into Tolkien. Anyways, I have not read the Dune books, so I completely go into this fresh. I'm completely here just for Denis' storytelling, his take on it, his visual language. And something that when I talk to people, that they tend to not know about this, but I'm not sure if it's an interview with Christopher Nolan or just a featurette I saw, but he talks about that when writing Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2, that he wrote it with the benefit of hindsight. And what he means by that is that Frank Herbert, the author of the book, that he wrote the first book and audiences saw Paul as a bit of a Luke Skywalker, a bit of a hero, a hero's journey. And Frank Frank wanted him to be more of an anti-hero, or he had his whole arc to be more of an anti-hero arc. And so with the second book, Dune Messiah, he makes it, I'm told, I hear, very clear that Paul is going down a dark path, but this isn't a villain story, just anti-hero story. So with all that being said, when Paul takes that turn of just, yeah, I wouldn't quite say it's a dark turn, but it is a turn that I think makes all the audience feel a bit uneasy, and in the best way possible. I think that's what I love about Denis filmmaking, is that there is a horrific element to everything. There's a sense of uneasiness. It's like not just with the Bene Gesserit, but almost everything. There's a feeling of dread, and I just love the way he does that. Yeah, that's my rambling.